quickly today, I want us to go into something that maybe you know, or maybe you are trying to find out anything about it, or you are trying to wonder if you know or if you don't know. After the wedding of Prophet RACINE and Evangelist Ruth, what next? The wedding was done. I believe it was successful because we didn't have anything else that didn't work well. Everything worked well smoothly. Now the wedding is over. The next move will be definitely alienated to church politics. And the politics will be to play against SCOAN. That's one obvious thing. And before we get into that, I want to give you a simple brief and a simple breakdown on what must have transpired and the reasons that must have transpired before this relationship just took ground. The relationship of Prophet RACINE and Evangelist Ruth. There is a very high chance that this is not a relationship that was brought up by mutual agreement. There is a very high possibility of that. I'm using those kind of words so that no one will quote me. I'm trying also to avoid discussing these topics of this kind. And the good thing is, they didn't pay me to do that. And no one from the disciple side knows me very well. No one from the SCOAN side knows me very well. Nobody knows me. So this is not a paid thing. Oh, come here and do this, we give you this much, like other brothers. And then also, this is not expose. This is not exposure. And I will not involve myself into exposure thing. The relationship of Prophet RACINE and Evangelist Ruth must have been powered or engineered by several desires of different people, not even the two of them. That's one part I want us to deal with today. I'm very much comfortable with some other topics, but this one is a little tricky. And by discussing this topic, I just want you to backdate. I want to push you back from where you had the press conference where some of the elders called up the press conference and said, we have not appointed Mrs. Evelyn Joshua. Let's bring it from there. Then after a while, there seemed to be a very good breakthrough with the SCOAN team, that is Mama Evelyn and the family and the other people that were supporting her. And they won out that matter. So the team that came out and said they have not appointed Mama Evelyn Joshua, they had to go back to the drawing board. And what you are seeing in SCOAN and with the disciples now moving from here and there, doing these kind of charity things, those are very good things. In fact, when they do it, you will know they are doing something very good, so you will suspect anything. From there, and all these activities around, including the wedding of Prophet RACINE and Evangelist Ruth, all of it covered together is the same act that was born after Mama Evelyn and the people in SCOAN today, from the day they won in the courts. When they realized now they had to take control, and the battle that is here is almost like the battle between Jacob and Esau. Who will hold the birthright? And the birthright between Jacob and Esau, you know very well, it was not about money. It was not about wealth, cattle, sheep, camels, and the rest. It was about who holds the name of the family. What is happening now in SCOAN with the leadership of Mama Evelyn is already stable. They have their own structures rolling, and they have their own teams rolling, and they have their own places moving on. But then one problem that is set out is that the disciples are trying to duplicate what Prophet TB Joshua was doing before, to show that they are the ones that are carrying the mantle of Prophet TB Joshua. The battle is about the mantle. The battle in SCOAN and between these people is about the mantle of Prophet TB Joshua. These ones, they want to grab the mantle of Prophet TB Joshua. And then Mama Evelyn is now the mother that took over the institution and the leadership of Prophet TB Joshua's ministry. Just trying to bring you into this limelight before. Now, from those charity missions, you understand now what I'm talking about. Right now, you will hear charity missions and interactive prayer. So they are trying to build this thing looking like that's the last thing TB Joshua left. He's behind all these movements, and he's using his family definitely to work out this. And now, how does he make this thing so powerful? Now, it is political science and in church. The second part comes here. When they now take these activities, especially the charity missions, now you see where the charity missions within those, the ones that are calling themselves the disciples of TB Joshua, you know where they come from now. Still, this is sabotage. Number 3 is this Prophet RACINE's wedding and Evangelist Ruth. And I want to talk to you about this in 2 categories. The first one, the people who made this wedding possible, they had 2 things in their mind. Number 1, if Prophet RACINE get married to Evangelist Ruth, we have shifted the power of inheritance in SCOAN. Because everybody knew it's Prophet RACINE that is taking over. The Prophet RACINE was the one given the mantle. That's the picture everybody have. Even now, as I'm talking, that's the picture everybody have. And all the people that say, oh, RACINE has done this and has missed this, that's exactly what they are turning their mind and their all concerns into. Because they knew the last moments, there were big moments for Prophet RACINE with Prophet TB Joshua before he left to be with the Lord. So there is a team that sat down and realized that if we pick RACINE onto our side, we have won a battle somewhere. And now, how do we do this? Oh, we have our daughter here, release him. Just exactly the same thing they were doing to the Israelites, marrying their daughters off to Israel, so that they can marry them off to Israel and occupy their hearts, their minds, and colonize their strength. You know how Baal came in. Baal was a god of Zidon. And those Zidonites, they used it. In fact, Jezebel came from Zidon, from the altars of Baal. Jezebel is not a man, not even a human, not even a woman. Jezebel was a spirit that was invoked from an altar of Baal, and then put into a daughter of one king of Zidon, and then released into marriage with King Ahab. And then from that marriage of King Ahab and the daughter of King of Zidon, that's where now God started getting angry with Israel. It's the same situation we have on the ground. Someone released her daughter. I don't want to mention names in this one. Someone released her daughter into another colony, and then let's take this over. And then after taking over, anything that will be happening now is God's anger. I'm trying to go slow in this. I'm trying to go slow. Now, part 2 of this thing that we talk about, the Prophet RACINE and Evangelist Ruth's wedding, is 2. It was that if once we collect this man onto us, we can use him to achieve our goals and our agenda and make him submissive. So after he is submissive, he will hand over the mantle back to us here. Timothy, profitable? You handle your spirituality, economic and social matters. And this is Blevoy TV for you. See you next time.